Junwoo wakes up late in the morning and discovers a note from his family. They had to rush out but left him money for food. Instead of shopping, he chooses to game online with friends for his stream. But their fun stops when a player tells him to check the news. Something huge is going on. Junwoo turns on the TV just as their regular show cuts to an emergency alert, with a reporter declaring the apocalypse. Then, his phone buzzes with an emergency text. He glances out the window, and what he sees is terrifying. The city is overrun by zombies chasing people in panic. Streets are pure chaos. Cars crash into each other, sparking small explosions. A girl cries for her mom, but when her mother reaches her, the girl attacks and starts eating her. Junwoo hears screams and crashes in the hallway, proving the madness has reached his building. When he cracks open his door, his neighbor Sang-cheol forces his way in, begging to stay. His own brother turned zombie and took over his apartment. Junwoo tries to shove him out, but Sang-cheol resists, blocking the door. Finally, Junwoo lets Sang-cheol use the bathroom, but only if he leaves afterward. Meanwhile, the TV reports that a fast-spreading infection is turning people violent, with symptoms like rage, bleeding eyes, and eventually cannibalism. Junwoo grabs a knife just as Sang-cheol steps out and spots a suspicious scar on his hand. Sang-cheol insists he's okay, but then his eyes turn blood red, his veins darken, and his body shakes. With a snarl, he lunges at Junwoo, who barely fights back and kicks him out, slamming the door shut. After a frantic battle with a zombie arm, Junwoo finally slams and locks the door. Peering through the peephole, he sees a hulking zombie grab Sang-cheol and drag him off, leaving streaks of blood that slowly creep under Junwoo's door. Shaken, he shoves his fridge in front of the entrance to barricade it. Desperate, he keeps calling his family, only for the operator to say all lines are down. Relief hits when his mom texts, they're safe but can't return, begging him to stay hidden and survive. Meanwhile, the TV warns everyone to stock up on 60 days worth of supplies, making Junwoo curse himself for skipping groceries earlier. Junwoo carefully portions his food and sticks a "you must survive" note on a family photo for motivation. The next day, a professor on TV reveals the zombies are caused by a mutated virus attacking the brain's right side. Still unable to call out, Junwoo scrolls through social media, flooded with desperate posts under #alive, where people share locations and search for missing family. Hoping for rescue, he snaps a selfie, holding his address with the caption #IMustSurvive. Then, he watches a viral clip of a man dangling from a skyscraper window, filming his own struggle with a selfie stick, desperately trying to get a signal, until the video cuts off as he plummets. The TV report warns that infection symptoms appear minutes before turning. Junwoo sends his drone to scout neighboring apartments, only to find zombies in nearly every unit. By accident, he calls his father, draining the drone's battery and forcing it to return. To distract himself, he tries gaming online, but the internet cuts out too. That night, Junwoo jolts awake to the blaring alarm of a car crashing outside his building. Peering outside, Junwoo sees a policewoman desperately firing at her zombified colleagues. When her bullets run out, the creatures swarm her, biting repeatedly before hauling her toward a waiting horde. Junwoo shouts to distract them, but the zombies barely hesitate before resuming their gruesome feast. Suddenly, the massive zombie from before returns, slamming against his door until it shoves the fridge aside. Junwoo throws his weight against the door, but the monster's too strong. With no other choice, he sprints to the balcony and leaps. As the zombie lunges at him, it topples over the railing and plummets down, while Junwoo barely clings to safety. From his perch, he spots the undead mob below, including the now-turned cop. Later, he reinforces his door, heart sinking when he discovers the zombie wrecked most of his food stash. That night, he films an emotional video for his followers, confessing his fear and isolation. By day 7, desperation sets in. Junwoo starts drinking his dad's liquor and tapes colored paper over the windows to hide from the horrors outside. The TV reports that the infection spreads only through blood contact. Avoid bites and wounds, and you might survive. But the zombies grow stronger, with heightened senses, and some even mimic human actions like turning doorknobs or repeating old routines. A ramen commercial taunts Junwoo into cooking his last pack, only for him to spot the last meal post-it note too late. In anger, he spills his water bottle, then panics when the taps run dry. Desperate, he licks the last droplets off the table. Junwoo films another frustrated video, ranting about TV messages telling people to just stay put. He's dying to escape, but zombies still lurk outside. He recalls an emergency radio app that needs wired headphones as an antenna, but all he has are wireless earbuds. By day 15, he's so stir-crazy he dances around the apartment, until a sudden noise makes his heart leap. For one glorious second, he thinks his family has returned. Then reality crashes down. They were never there. Overwhelmed, he collapses into sobs, his hope shattered. Devastated, Junwoo lies crumpled on the floor until a garbled voice message shocks him awake. His mother's broken transmission cuts through static, "Stay home," but the rest is lost. Mimicking the doomed selfie stick guy, he risks the balcony edge, playing the message as zombies gather below, hungry for his fall. The recording cuts off with screams and snarls. His family may be gone. Something in Junwoo breaks. He smashes everything in sight, but the rage won't leave. Storming outside, he swings a golf club wildly at a zombie, beating it to pulp before collapsing, empty. Panting with adrenaline, Junwoo screams for another fight, then freezes. Around the corner, zombified Seng-cheol lurches toward him. One zombie doesn't scare him, but his shouts have summoned an entire ravenous horde. He bolts for the elevator, flings the door open, and unleashes another wave of undead. Heart pounding, he barely escapes, ducking into hiding until the monsters pass. When the coast seems clear, he creeps back toward his apartment, only to stumble upon a blind zombie. Holding his breath, he waits as it shuffles past before making a break for his door. The second the lock clicks, the zombies outside erupt into frenzy, drawn by the sound, their snarls and thuds shaking the walls as Junwoo collapses inside, trapped again. On day 20, explosions rock the city. Junwoo runs to the window just as bombs begin falling. Convinced this is the end, he records a final, broken video. Asterisk hello and goodbye. Asterisk standing on a stool with a noose around his neck, he prepares to end it all, when suddenly, a laser cuts through the window. It dances across a sign, highlighting individual letters until they spell, asterisk don't be a moron. Asterisk Junwoo thrashes free just in time and whips his head toward the window, where he spots Yubin in the opposite building, binoculars in hand, watching him. She'd been there all along. The two quickly use hand signals to arrange a 7 p.m. meeting. Junwoo notices Yubin's apartment is a survivalist dream, neatly organized supplies, a clever door trap, and even a plant she carefully shares her water with. The next morning, Junwoo sleeps past their planned meetup time. When he finally checks his window at 11 a.m., Yubin spots him and decides to wave hello anyway. Through creative sign language and typing on their phones, they introduce themselves, just as Yubin suddenly freezes at an unexpected sound. 7 again. She quickly signals before grabbing her axe. A zombie has triggered her trap. After a deep breath, she steels herself and takes it down with one swift swing. That night, rain pours down, and both rush to place pots on their balconies to collect water. Yubin even sets her beloved plant outside to drink. As she glances across at Junwoo's building, she notices the 8th floor is eerily empty. The next morning, Junwoo wakes up weak and dizzy from hunger. Spotting his condition, Yubin tries tossing a rope tied to a ball toward his balcony, but it misses and lands below. Thinking fast, Junwoo sends his drone over with a rope, and once they secure it between both balconies, Yubin sends a care package with food and a note. Asterisk eat slowly. Asterisk but just as relief sets in, Junwoo spots the fallen ball, now clutched by a zombified firefighter, who tugs at the rope with terrifying strength. The force of the table yanks it across Yubin's apartment, slamming into her and knocking her unconscious. Now wedged against the railing, the table gives the zombie fireman a deadly ladder. He starts hauling himself up the rope. Junwoo hurls empty bottles, but they all miss. Desperate, he sends his drone buzzing toward the zombie, nicking its face. The creature swipes wildly, forcing Junwoo into a nerve-wracking aerial dance. Just as zombies begin pounding on his door, the distraction makes him lose control. The drone plummets, but he snatches it back at the last second. Time's running out. The zombie fireman finally seizes the drone, crushing it in his grip, but just as he prepares to climb again, Yubin springs up and hacks off his hand with one swift strike, sending him plummeting. As she tends to her bruises, Junwoo flashes "Stay strong" on his phone screen. Later, with supplies dwindling again, Junwoo steels himself. Asterisk, he has to survive for his family star. Wrapping his feet and head for protection, he sneaks out at night. The hallway is a graveyard of bodies, including Seng-cheol's. Junwoo quietly pockets his keys, careful not to wake a nearby zombie. Inside Seng-cheol's apartment, he raids the fridge for food, then grabs headphones, a jacket, and a pair of walkie-talkies before slipping back into the shadows. He sees something strange on the bed, so he lifts the blanket and finds a dead woman. Just then, Sang-cheol's zombie brother attacks and knocks him down. Junwoo quickly uses the dead woman as a shield to escape and starts running. The zombie chases him, but Junwoo throws a metal bar to slow him down and locks the door behind him so he can get back home safely. After eating a snack, Junwoo cuts his headphone wires to use the jack as an antenna, but the radio app still doesn't work. Then, he sends a bag back to Yubin with a walkie-talkie and some food from the neighbor. They talk for a while to comfort each other, and Yubin admits she once thought about ending her life too. At lunchtime, they both make noodles at the same time to feel like they're eating together. They spend a whole afternoon chatting, and Yubin shares that she's scared of heights because she once fell while climbing as a child. Just then, they hear a strange noise and think it's rain, but when they look outside, they see all the zombies running at once. As the zombies charge through their buildings, the two try to stay silent and hide. But Yubin accidentally knocks over a shelf, and the noise draws the zombies toward her. A scared Yubin thinks it's the end, but Junwoo remembers all the apartments are connected and quickly calls her neighbor. The ringing phone pulls the zombies away from her door. Since it's too risky to stay on their own floors, Yubin tells Junwoo about an empty apartment on the 8th floor, and they decide to meet there. Junwoo wants to make a plan, but Yubin ties a rope to a table and jumps out the window, landing safely. The zombies chase her right away, but she shows amazing skills, running fast to escape or fighting them off with her axe. She even uses car doors as weapons to knock them down. Just as she's about to reach the other building, she spots the cop's gun and quickly grabs it. A zombie jumps on her, but before it can bite, Junwoo hits it with his golf club. Now the two fight side by side, killing zombies as they move toward the building, using abandoned cars for cover. When they finally get inside, they shut the door and quickly run to the elevator just before the zombies smash the glass. They reach the 8th floor and begin searching for an unlocked apartment. But then, they hear a noise and realize there are zombies in the hallway too. Yubin runs off to find an open door, while Junwoo blocks the hallway with whatever he can to buy some time. Just then, a door opens and a masked man steps out. He pulls Yubin into his apartment and throws a gas explosive at the zombies, giving Junwoo a chance to run in too. Once the door is locked, Yubin says she feels uneasy because the apartment was supposed to be empty. But the man seems friendly and even offers them food and water. Then he shares big news because he's on a high floor. He sometimes picks up a radio signal and heard that a rescue team is coming soon. Yubin and Junwoo feel hopeful, but then Junwoo suddenly faints. The man had put something in his water. Since Yubin only had a small sip, she's just feeling dizzy. Still, the man manages to tie her hands and drag her into another room, locking her in with his zombie wife. The blood on the walls suggests the wife already ate their baby. From outside the room, the man pulls a rope to keep the zombie back and explains he just wants to feed her so she can survive like he does. At that moment, Junwoo wakes up and points the gun at the man, asking him to stop. But the man refuses and lets go of the rope, so Junwoo runs to grab it. While the man searches for a knife, Yubin keeps struggling with the zombie, who pulls so hard that Junwoo eventually loses hold of the rope. Junwoo quickly runs to the door but can't unlock it, and the man shoves him aside. Inside, Yubin presses a baby's blanket against the zombie wife's face, and suddenly everything goes quiet, making the men panic. The man finally opens the door, but Yubin shoves the zombie onto him, and they both fall. The zombie bites her husband, and as he hugs her, he says, "I love you." Before he can fully turn, Yubin shoots them both. The gunshots draw the attention of the zombie horde outside, who immediately start rushing into the building. Yubin hands the gun to Junwoo and tells him to end it, but at first, he can't bring himself to do it. She changes his mind by saying they should die as humans, not become zombie food. With tears in his eyes, Junwoo gets ready to shoot, but just then they hear a noise. It's the rescue helicopters finally arriving. Now filled with hope, they throw a gas explosive into the hallway and push through some zombies to reach the stairs. But a large group quickly follows, and one of them grabs Yubin. She fights back with her axe, and Junwoo grabs a bicycle to block the zombies, giving her a chance to crawl out of the pile. He tells her to head to the roof, while he holds him off. Yubin runs upstairs, but once she gets there, she can't see the helicopters anymore. After a tough struggle, Junwoo finally manages to push the zombies a few steps back and runs upstairs, using ladders to block the roof door. When he sees the helicopters are gone, he starts shouting, "We are still alive," as both he and Yubin cry. Suddenly, the zombies break through the door, and Junwoo fires his gun, but only manages to kill a few before running out of bullets. Just in time, a helicopter appears and the soldiers open fire, holding off the zombies while Junwoo and Yubin climb aboard to escape. As the helicopter leaves the city, Junwoo's phone finally gets a signal and he receives messages from his family saying they're safe. Looking back at the city, Junwoo remembers the social media posts from survivors hoping to be rescued and imagines his "I must survive" tag turning into a live.